اقرأ وربك الأكرم الذي علم بالقلم علم الإنسان ما لم يعلم
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Allahumma salli wa sallim wa barik ala Sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back to a new episode of the SimplyRYQ Juz Amma series, brought to you by TVQ.Academy, your borderless school of the Quran. So, how are you doing, my dear ones, my beloved ones? I pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blesses you wherever you are, grants you high level of iman and good health. Allahumma ameen. Well, today we are progressing to have a new daily activity, a new daily dose, and by Allah's will, we have covered this first slide of the content, and we are moving on to the second. We have also, in the second slide of the content, we have covered Surah 2 Al-Fil, Surah 2 Al-Humaza. So by Allah's will, today we are moving to Surah 2 Al-Asr. Surah Al-Asr. Without further ado, let's do this. Bismillah. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. والعصر والعصر والعصر. Now, it is not very common. Yes, it is not very common that you get people who are able to articulate in this particular verse, and this is a verse. It's a word and a verse, one-worded verse. Wal'a, to articulate this with the sword in its silent situation, sukun, and also with the ra at the end with heaviness and silence situation. Wal-asr, wal-asr, wal-asr. Not wal-asr, not wal-asr. So, and don't make the ra flat. Wal-asr, wal-asr. Okay, in order to visualize, yes, try to remove the sword and only stop on the ra. Wal-ar, ar. So now with the ar, put the sword in between. Wal-asr, wal-asr, wal-asr. It is doable, very easy. But awareness is where it starts with. Knowing that the letter, the sword, we need to give it whispering sound. Wal-asr, wal-asr. And this is sword, it has to sound heavy. Unlike the sin, bismi, alladhi yuwaswisu. This is very similar to the one in Surah 2 and An-Nasr. إِذَا جَاءَ نَصْرُ The only difference is that this one we stop at it and that one we don't stop at it. All right. Wal-asr. One more time. Wal-asr. Moving on. Innal insana lafi khusr. Now, you will have a challenge, and we together have a challenge to make sure that the second one is seen while the first one remains sword. And it should be easier here when we say walas and then remain our mouth at heavy level or heaviness level for the sword, silent sword. Walas, or it should be easier here compared to the second one. Innal insana lafi khusr. Tajweed, Quran recitation, proper Quran recitation is a mouth gym. You have to control your mouth and tell it what to do and position them where you want them. Don't let them control you. This is the problem many of us have or at least many students I have handled, this is a problem they have. They just want the mouth to do the work for them without them directing their organs in their mouth where and how they want them to be. All right. إن الإنسان لفي خسر. إن الإنسان لفي خسر. Let's pick up from the beginning together. Bismillah. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر. Moving on. إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات. إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات. إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات. Of course, one must refrain from saying إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات. Ha is a letter that has specific locations in the Arabic word in the Quran. So we don't just put them anywhere, anyhow. Over here, إِلَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ. Another thing is the ta, when we stop on it, an open ta, a bold ta. So we say وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ. We don't say وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ and stop. Nor do we apply the rule of the closed ta, وَعَمِلُوا الصَّلَاةِ. All right, no. إِلَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ. Moving on. وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالْحَقِّ. وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالْحَقِّ. Here we emphasize the qaf and then click its sounds. If you remember at Surah Al-Masad, تَبَّتْ يَدَا أَبِي لَهَبٍ وَتَبَّ. The same thing applies here. The 5 letters we mentioned, right? Yes. وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالْحَقِّ. So you cannot say وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالْحَقِّ and stop. Now do we say وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالْحَقِّ because it is kasra? Yes, it is kasra, but when you link it, only then you will make heard the sound, the clear sound of the kasra. Now let's pick up from the beginning and stop at bilhaq together. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Wal Asr. Innal insana lafi khusr. إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق. Moving on. وتواصوا بالصبر. وتواصوا بالصبر. وتواصوا بالصبر. I'm sure, or I assume that you can remember that the bilhaq we applied here, we click on the sound when we stop of the letter, sound of the letter when we stop on it, and also applied emphasis because it is emphasized letter. Over here, we click on the sound of the ba because it comes in silent situation. Silent means sukun, and again, silence in Quran has sounds. And these 5 letters, when they come in silent mode or silent status, we click their sound. Qaf, ta, ba, jim, dal, and this is ba. When they are in the middle of the word, with silence, or when we stop on it, regardless whether they are active or not. وتواصوا بالصبر. So just because we click on the sound of the ba here doesn't mean that we click on the sound or apply qalqala to the ra. بالصبر. No. بالصبر. بالصبر. Not بالصبر. Now one more time. وتواصوا بالصبر. Now let's pick up from إلا الذين آمنوا together. Remember the pausing marks. If you are not certain, please use your pencil. Have your personal Quran. It is advisable that your personal Quran is handy. If you don't have vision or sight issues, it is advisable that your personal Quran is handy. It is either this size or bigger, so that you will be able to have it with you and refer to it at all times. And also use your pen or pencil. It is fine. There's no harm, no prohibition that you cannot take notes in your Quran, let alone put marks for recitation. So this particular verse, there is no any science. And by the way, we don't follow the science. The science means symbols of punctuation that are used in the Quran. If it coincides with how we read, we apply it. If not, we just bypass it. So over here, the verse, as you can see, there's no any symbol of punctuation for it. And even if it is there, we are not necessarily going to follow it. So remember, how do you remember? Have your pencil with you and put marks. So let's pick up from here together. إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر. Now, before we combine everything, one may ask, can't I read the verse one go? Sure, you can read the verse one go. That is if you have mastered it. If you have mastered it, you can surely read it at one go. إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر. As long as you don't have to struggle for oxygen, you don't have to struggle for breath. If you have to struggle for breath, then do yourself a favor. Now let's combine everything together. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر. All right, we have come to the end of Surah Al-Asr. Surah Al-Asr is a short surah, but it is taking us not less time than some surahs that are longer than it, due to the reading and articulation significance this surah comes along with. So please pay attention. Don't undermine any surah for whatever reason there may be. Until tomorrow, I leave you in Allah's protection. See you in Jannah. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
اقرأ وربك الأكرم الذي علم بالقلم علم الإنسان ما لم يعلم